Clay literally tells AD no while they're getting married, and she just totally misses it.
A union of two, a dedication. Many have chosen lifelong partnerships, but today we celebrate yours.
Girl, bye.
We celebrate yours.
He literally says no, and she just completely misses it.
Today we celebrate the union of Clay.
I hate the fact that they asked her first. I hate this so much for her. I hate this so much for her. As if the red flags were not already there, and then him literally saying, like, verbally that he's not marriage material, he has all these daddy issues, and then he's telling you no, and you're so, like, far gone into this that you miss even that. That's wild. He literally says no. Oh my God.
You guys, hello. Welcome and welcome back to Mom Jeans by Nutcase. It is yours truly, the Nutcase Case Nicole, and I am back again with some more shenanigans, honey. This is our 5th and final Love is Blind Season 6 couples breakdown, and you know I had to save the best for last, child. We got to get into AD and Clay because... Girl, we got to talk about it. Get in the comments. Let me know what you think, you guys. Anything that you want to add or point out, I'm down for it because I'm not always right. I don't always have it right all the time. I don't always have the right answers, and I don't know everything. So I want to hear what you guys know, okay? What do you have to say about it? Before we get into it, though, be sure to like the video, subscribe, you guys, and turn post notifications on so you can check out every time I post because we're getting into some stuff, okay? But without further ado, let's go. Family. Look, let's go to church. No, I'm just playing. Let's not. AD and Clay. What can I say about AD and Clay all day? Y'all, I was irritated by that. I was irritated in the beginning when they first started courting each other, if you want to call it that, dating, courting. I just felt like there was such a lack of effort. Like, I might be tripping. Am I tripping?
No!
But it felt like in the pods, AD and Clay never really did any activities. Is it just me? Even when it comes down to when he proposed to her, everybody else, even Jeremy's ratchet ass, had some flowers in the pod for Laura, right? Like, am I tripping? I don't know what that was in the bottle. Maybe it was a ceremonial thing. That could have been the gift. That could have been like what it was, but they both had one of those. So I feel like there was nothing really special that AD got from Clay when they were in the pods. It just felt like she was settling for so little. And you know, that's us. I don't claim that anymore as a Black woman. I really don't. I cannot claim that bare minimum, bare bones shit anymore in my life as a Black woman, because I would rather, honestly, I enjoy my own company and I would rather be alone than to deal with the bare minimum from a Black man ever again a day in my life. And it's taken a long time for me to get there, because even now, like, even though I say that I won't take the bare bones, bare minimum from a Black man, I still wish that they would do better. But I'm not about to sit around and stress myself out waiting on it. Okay, that's not what I'm about to do. And I just felt like it was really AD doing a disservice disservice to herself because, like, girl, that would have been a no for me after I had seen, well, and I don't even know the timeline because the way they edit the show, who knows? But after I had seen all of the other women who got proposed to come back in with like flowers, I know that might seem superficial. I know it may seem like it's me comparing her situation to another situation, and people are going to say, oh, well, not everyone is the same, and you can't compare two relationships and act like they're going to be the same. And I agree with that. There's balance to everything, and I understand that balance. And I'm not saying that they didn't have something special, but there was like this energy of mediocrity that I felt from their courting experience that I just cannot shake. She even said it herself when Clay ended up saying no at the altar when she was back in the bridal room, and she said that she was so tired of carrying all these relationships. It's like, girl, yes, that's what, please, thank you, God, because I just wanted to reach through the screen and shake her, like, wake up, because everything that she was saying in the commentary with producers about her past and how she had gone to therapy and all this type of stuff, I'm trying to think in my mind as I'm watching, how recent was this, girl? Because you might not be ready. Did your therapist clear you to go date? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't afford a therapist. I've been to therapy on several different occasions, but it's very expensive. And one thing I do is try to find affordable ways to get the help that I need. So I do watch a lot of therapists on YouTube, people who I feel have a good spirit, and I try to get what I need. And if they point out something that triggers me, then I know I'm not ready. Okay. But I just was really sad to see her play herself like that. I was sad to see AD play herself like that, because that's one thing that I wish Black women would understand, is that the value that we bring to situations is never replenished if we don't see that value and we allow it to be used and abused. This man went through this experience, and she even said it herself, that she felt like he used her as like that stair step to get to a higher level for himself. And I feel like that's something that Black women need to understand. We need to understand that we can no longer be that doormat. We can no longer be that step stool. We can no longer be that ladder that Black men climb to get where they really want to go, while they leave us at the bottom, not having anything. It's played out. It's tired. And I just wish that more of us would see. And I think it's a choice that you have to make personally of whether or not you're going to accept it. And I just think that AD hasn't accepted it yet, at least at the point where she started this experiment. And Clay, to me, he just came off as very corny. That whole AD and Clay all day, like, that came off as very corny to me. And she was just eating it up. She was just eating it up. And I was just like, girl, it's giving bare bones. It's giving hungry. It's giving a little bit of famine out here, because you're just eating it up. But it's like holographic food. Did y'all ever watch Blade Runner, the second one, where he had that holographic computerized spouse, and she brought out that dinner that looked so good, but then it actually was like these nasty looking worms? That's what this reminds me of. And then the fact that AD was gravitating towards, what's his name, Michael? Was that his name? Child, his name is Matthew. I actually literally had to go look it up because I forgot this man's name. The fact that AD gravitated towards this man Matthew, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I'm a little crazy. In the beginning, when Matthew was walking out of those pods, I wasn't mad. And you know why I wasn't mad? Was because if he had enough foresight to know that those weren't the people who he wanted to be with, more power to you, sir. It does give, you gonna ghost somebody, and he's a ghoster, but you know, people know what they need and people know what they don't need. So at first I was like, ooh, dang. And I was like, okay, it's a little weird, but I try to keep an open mind about people until they just prove that they're a fool. And you know, that might be a flaw. You can call it what you want. I'm getting better at it, y'all. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, you know what? This could be a different situation. When she was first talking to him, I was like, okay, you never know what could happen with this. It might be something that maybe he just is adverse to certain personality types. It could have been a situation where maybe he has ADHD and some of the people's voices irritated his soul. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I try not to judge people until they really show who they are, because oftentimes when you just look at the surface, you don't necessarily see the full picture. So I can understand where AD is at. I can understand her feelings. But one thing that I differ on when it comes to my own personal growth and what I've realized is that no matter how much I may want to see the benefit of the doubt, and no matter how much I may want to see the good in a person, I can't lie to myself about the the bad. And one thing that I feel like Clay did was tell the truth and the whole truth the entire time he was in that pod. I'm not mad at Clay. You know why? Because he told her who he was. He told her who he was from day one, from the jump. And even as they decided to pick each other, it's like she convinced him. That's a problem, child. Listen, you can't convince these men to do anything, especially these black men. Let's not even sit up here and play around. Let's not even sit up here and act like we in daycare, okay? There ain't enough blocks in the world for us to have enough time to play around with that. We're not gonna act like these black men out here are not dysfunctional and dealing with a lot of mental, emotional, spiritual, genetic, ancestral trauma that they ain't dealing with, okay? But one thing about Clay, he told her straight up what it was, and she didn't want to listen. And that's a lot of us black women, and how we get caught up in the okie doke is that when they show you who they are, you don't want to listen. And I'm not just saying it's black women, it's a lot of people who get caught up in those types of mentalities. But Lord have mercy, if it ain't a pandemic for black women, it's a problem. The fact that he decided that he didn't want to go through with it, he could have said that before they got to the altar, I'm gonna be honest with you, but I understand why he didn't.
And I appreciate you, and I know that you will fight for me and we'll let it work. I know, but I can't say yes right now. I'm sorry, Adine. I'm sorry.
Now let me explain what I feel about Clay. I feel sad for Clay, and I can feel his heart, and I can feel the instant regret that I feel like he had when he did not go through with that marriage on a certain level. The thing about Clay is that he is caught up in the same tornado, storm, tsunami that a lot of black men are caught up in, which is the storm of expectation and the storm of false reality. And when I say false reality, I mean black men are expected to be so many things, and they're expected to do so many things, and they're expected to be a certain way. But the ones who they're expected to be that way for are other black men, instead of for their children, their wives or spouses, or their families and their legacies. They have all of this pressure on them that they feel, but that the cause of is misplaced because they blame everybody else but the real culprit. And the real culprit seems to boil down to black men being black men's own worst enemy, because the only reason why they make the choices that they make, and the only reason why they do the things that they do, is to curry some type of favor with other black men, whether it be their own delinquent ass fathers, or whether it be their own degenerate friends, or whether it be some other person within society that really doesn't care about them. But the main people who they should be living for, which is number one, themselves and their community, are the main ones who have to bear the brunt of the load when they don't have their shit together. And it's very frustrating being a part of that community. While I can understand how people would be upset with Clay, I'm not completely upset with him. Number one, because he told the truth the whole way through, and AD just didn't want to hear it. And number two, when he got to the altar, knowing that he wasn't ready, he didn't lie and say I do, because that's even worse. And I do feel like there's hope for Clay as an individual, because there were moments in the show where I feel like he was being fake, like straight up. I just felt like he was being fake and just saying what he felt like was the right thing to say. He's a lost boy, okay? He might be flying around with Peter Pan tonight for all I know, because he is a lost boy, still looking for approval from his delinquent ass father. Hey guys, quick interjection. You know I tend to do that. I just want to say real quick, because this is a super stressful installment of the couples breakdowns, that I'm not necessarily trying to express that I have sympathy for Clay. I just want to empathize with his situation and show understanding, because I'm going to be honest with you, this particular part of the commentary triggers me, because the fact that his dad has abused him his whole life, it's hard for me to talk about it, to be honest with you, because I see it in my sons. I'm literally trying to unravel the knots that my ex-husband is putting in my sons' minds about life and about their worth and about the world, because that is what his father did to him. He was abused abused his entire life and was told things to make him think that he is not good enough and that he will never be better than his father because there's a secret resentment. Clay's father sat there in his face on his wedding day and did so many things through that conversation that made my skin crawl because it was abuse. It was basically solidifying the foundation of abuse that has already been planted within Clay. And I'm going to show you guys a TikTok video that explains it medically because I'm not a licensed psychiatrist or psychologist or therapist, but this is sad. This is sad. And it's a sad truth that a lot of Black men don't want to face about themselves, is that their father, more than likely, if they don't have a stable relationship, or if their father was not necessarily the best guy, was probably someone who abused them narcissistically, because this has been a systemic issue that has been passed down since whenever. I'm not sure when, because I can't even say it came from slavery, to be honest with you. This is so deeply rooted that it may be something that is deeper than what we really know. It's a curse. And what I wish that Black men would understand is that, yes, while it is not necessarily your fault that you are abused, it is still your responsibility to solve the problem. So let's go ahead and watch the TikTok.
Before you got into track and field, right? Yeah. When I took you out running, the first time I beat you, right? Yeah. I'm talking all this stuff, you know what I mean? You gotta do this, you gotta do that, right? And one day you beat me. Yeah. It's so bad. You wait for me. I couldn't believe it.
I felt good, like, okay. Yeah, like, damn, must be getting better, or Dad's out of shape.
I wasn't out of shape. You were just, you know what I mean?
Another level.
You took your thing to another level.
Yeah.
Because track was always my thing.
Yeah.
You know, high school, All-American, college, All-American, United States, Olympic teams.
Yeah.
I came as close as the Melrose Games, and I pulled that hamstring.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but outside of that, I was just, me personally, I was living vicariously through you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just wanted you to get to where
the highest I could get to. Yeah.
Let me tell you.
We got there.
We got there, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't be more proud. It's every father's dream, you know, to have kids that are successful.
Even on his son's wedding day, an opportunity to instill the power of partnership, his father instead focuses on his own achievements and instead reinforces a fierce individualism which shows up for Clay even at the altar. His decision to say no to AD is hardly about her and is much more about his own lack of personal growth and achievement. Image is so important to a narcissist that they pass this on to their children, which we see over and over again with Clay and his preoccupation with physical beauty. On the surface, this interaction seems innocent, but when you dig deeper and you look at the entitlement, the competition with his own child, the need for admiration, this narcissistic outburst is not anything to laugh at.
How is it?
Good.
It looks like you're enjoying yourself. Oh, yeah, that looks like you're enjoying. Okay, you okay?
To the point where he even had to go ask his dad, should I go up there and talk to her? Do you feel like you should? I can't get that emotionally invested, y'all. That's what I'm saying. And it's crazy because while I do feel that he is just another Black man that represents the stigmas that we're all seeing with our own eyes, and while I think that he's just another Black man who is caught up in the tornado tsunami of Black manhood at this particular moment in time, I feel he actually wanted to get married. And that's the sad part for me, for him. I feel like he actually wanted to get married. And the reason why I feel like he didn't was because he was so scared of whatever would come after that. And whatever would come after that, he feared what people would think of him, how he would look, because he has been brainwashed and manipulated by his poor role models and examples and by society into thinking that a stable home life and a spouse and children and a healthy relationship is not a goal. He's been manipulated into believing that what he truly feels in his heart and soul is what he wants, is something that he can't have. But for your father to take you with him to cheat, I mean, that's deep. And for him to say that he still needs to work on himself and he needs therapy, he might be a little bit more progressed than we all want to give him credit for. He could have just took that woman through even more pain than she was already going to be in. And I think that's why he waited till the altar, because for him to say that to her before, he would have been beating himself up if he had not gotten all the way to the altar and felt that way. So I really do think he wasn't sure until he got there. But I'm not advocating and saying that it was right what he did. Don't get me wrong, it was fucked up. But at the end of the day, it was less fucked up for him to do it that way than to have her married with kids and then decide later that that's not the man that he wanted to be. That's all I'm saying. It's a lot of black men specifically that don't have enough respect or decency to give women that. They don't have enough respect or decency to give women what Clay gave to AD, which is a way out of a toxic situation which he was not ready for. And he was honest about it, so I can't be mad. But I also can't sit here and be this whole sympathetic person for AD either, because he told her the whole time. And as a woman, I'm not necessarily male identified, but I understand masculine and feminine energy, and I can understand where sometimes we as women have to see the truth and we don't want to see it because it feels so good to listen and hear and live in beautiful lies. But beautiful lies are not going to sustain you for 50 to 75 years, okay? They're not. Beautiful lies are not going to get you through rough patches with your spouse. Beautiful lies aren't going to keep you satisfied. But honestly, I feel like it's not just black women, it's black men too. Black people lie to ourselves, to each other, and to other people because we're so worried about image. And I feel like their whole relationship was focused on image. It was focused on how they looked together, how they looked individually. AD couldn't stop talking about how fine Clay was, and Clay couldn't stop talking about AD and how fine she was and her physique, even from the pods, right? It was just so many times where he showed her the type of man that he was gonna be, and she convinced him to think that that's what he wanted, and he did it. So it shows the dysfunction on both sides of our community, and it's sad. It's sad because despite how I may feel about my own situations or about black people as a whole, it's sad because we're literally the only group of people racially who I feel have been destroyed on that deep of a level, and there's nothing we're doing about it. And I'm not saying there aren't people out there who are trying, but there's not enough of us collectively who are working together to do something about it. And quite frankly, I'm a little pissed off. I'm a little tired. I'm over it because now I have to carry around all of that just because of my face, because of my skin. I have to carry all of that around, even if I don't identify with it. So, I don't know. I probably bounced around a lot in this video. I probably missed a few things. So you guys be sure to get in the comments and let me know what I missed. What else did you guys see about AD and Clay and their connection and their relationship? And also, what are some ways that you may have had to realize within yourself that you were lying about your perspective when it comes to dating in a way where you may not have decided that you wanted what you wanted based on logical or rational merit? Put it in the comments. Let me know, you guys. Be sure to like the video, subscribe. Oh, it's so sad. It's so sad. But I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.